I want to start this video by prefacing our main focus question: what keeps a country strong and able to endure challenges and changes? In our world today, America as a whole is still struggling to cooperate and act together. With recent events, we can clearly see how divided our country is. This means we have to unite as one to be more tolerant to one another and live together in harmony. And we have to embrace the differences and diversity that we have in this country. Many real-life examples include fighting for women's rights, fighting for people of color's rights, and fighting for LGBTQ+ rights. While these aren't the only things we are fighting for, they do play a big role in our history as a country. Any country that has survived has used key elements to be able to ensure that they have many years of success in ruling ahead of them. These factors include leadership, economic influence, political influence, international alliances, along with strong military alliances. But you might be asking me, Lauren, why do we need all these things? That's a good question. Let's start with one of these factors: economic influence. Economic influence is any kind of outside pressure on a business drawn from a normal economic cycle. This means without it, we would not have any of the luxuries that we have today, like transportation, education, and practically everything that involves economics. So that's one of the main reasons why we need that. And let's go on to reason number 2. Without leadership, the world would pretty much collapse into sheer chaos and anarchy. That would be everywhere. And we as humans need someone to follow as a role model. A leader of the pack, think. Someone who can help us understand what we need to do as a society. A good and capable leader leads its people and country to peace and prosperity, while a cruel and incapable leader only brings people to the world of suffering and ultimately pretty much ruins the country as a whole. Political influence in government is to influence someone's ability to get others to act, think, or feel as one wants. So, for example, think about a mayor who compels voters to approve of a view that they have. This pretty much shows influence. Without this, is similar to leadership, because we don't know what to vote for if we don't have any views on the person. I think that reminds me of someone. Alliances with other countries are either really good or really bad, and we can think of this for 2 reasons. With the things that are going on at our world for the moment, we can see how having a pact with someone can be a really bad decision, because think if 2 countries were to go to war and one country is supporting both of them, and they say, one of the countries says to us, please help us, we need resources, and then the other country says to us, please help us, we need soldiers to fight and help us. And we can't just give both these country things, because that's not how alliances work. But we can't just give one country something, because then the other country will just think, hey, we're getting duped, we can't believe these guys, and then they break that alliance. So we can't really decide if we need an alliance or not, but you have to think about it in retrospect. Is it a good decision? In the book, A Separate Battle, Women in the Civil War, written by Ina Chang, talks about how underappreciated women were during the Civil War. In fact, they brought a lot more prosperity to America than we give them credit for. And a lot of this came from all their peaceful protests that they did. One of these we can use as an example. One called Uncle Tom's Cabin. Written by Harriet Beecher Stowe, she finally understood how disgusting and cruel the slave system was after her child died in 1849. Her book sold millions and brought many people to tears over the cruelty of the slave system. Even within the first year, it had sold over 1 million copies. It was translated and sold to countries such as France, Germany, Italy, England, Portugal, and over 6 other countries. The South viewed it as a much higher criticism and very bad, called it as ugly as original sin, and even someone reviewed it saying, the woman who wrote this must have been either a very bad or a very fanatical person. But this didn't stop the book from raising popularity. In fact, plays inspired by the book, songs, souvenirs, and many other things were created just to raise awareness about this. But since the South couldn't let this happen, they even decided to write off-brand books. And some of these were even called Uncle Robin in His Cabin in Virginia and Uncle Tom Without One in Boston. Yeah, That was the actual name of it. These were called anti-Tom novels, and they were written to say to the people, don't listen to them, we really didn't do this, even though they did. There was over 25 of these books published within the years, and Miss Stowe could have just let this happen and ignored these books. She was already gaining riches as she knew it. But she decided to take it a step further and publish A Key to Uncle Tom's Cabin. This can be shown as a peaceful protest, because these women never gave up their rights. Well, that was my answer to the question. I hope you enjoyed my answers, and I'll see you next time. Bye!